Hello, my name is Rick.
Ciao, my name is Millie.
And welcome to episode 10
Dieci
of season 2
due
of
Yonks Ago.
This is Yonks Ago, coming into your ears. Now what are yonks? They're kinda like years. Just a father and a daughter who want to know all about some people from Yonks Ago. Interesting people who did interesting stuff, but about whom we don't know enough. So we're gonna dig deep and find it all out. Yonky doodlers know what we're all about. Yonks Ago, hey ho, hey, Yonks Ago, hey ho, hey, surely.
Ciao, ragazzi.
Pretty excited about making it to double figures of season
Yeah. Woo.
10 episodes into the Nancy Wake story. And
How
she's,
many in the Ned Kelly one?
I think we got to 17 in
Whoa,
the end.
but 17 was the wrap up.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So,
but look, we've been meandering our way through the Nancy Wake story.
I'm looking at the book right now, and we're not even halfway yet.
Nah, but yeah, look, you pick and choose what you tell.
Yeah,
and,
that's fair. I mean, it is fair that you got to tell like the younger parts of Nancy Wake's story.
And this is also the stuff that you don't often know as well. Like you always get the headlines when you're learning about these historical figures. Like you probably don't know that much about Nancy Wake, I'm guessing.
No.
If anything.
I didn't know who she was until this podcast.
Cool. So you've got a very blank slate.
Yeah.
Whereas I know a little bit about Nancy Wake. I know who she is. I know where she fits into the context of history and what she did on the big stage.
Yeah.
To get her name in lights and to have books written about her.
Nancy?
Which, I mean, spoilers. I mean, she did some stuff.
Oh,
and we're getting to it. It wasn't just...
She did stuff?
Yeah, and it's not just her travelling around the world in fancy ships.
Oh, I thought that was going to be the whole story.
Spending her inheritance.
What?
No. She does even more than that.
No, because
Bit of
she's
sizzle.
A war hero, Australia's own.
We have been dropping
bit of sizzle.
little breadcrumbs of what she might be capable of, and we're going to hear all about her exploits,
Yeah.
some of which I was aware of before this podcast.
Oh.
But you know what I never knew?
That she was a nurse in... What's the town called?
Oh, I've already forgotten.
Mudgee?
I think that's it because she got muddy and mudgy.
Yeah.
And
I bet she didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that she had 5 siblings.
No. Chucky Wake?
Yeah.
Or Chucky Jr.?
So I've learned. So for me, this is the interesting stuff, setting the scene for all the little bits of and pieces of information that I already knew.
Yeah.
And that you're going to find out soon.
Yeah.
Because we're building to it.
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, she's in Europe now. I mean, spoiler alert. This is. She's in Europe in 1933, 34.
Yeah, I wasn't even alive then.
It was a tumultuous, let me just say, I don't know how much across your European history and indeed your world history you are, but the 30s in Europe were a tumultuous time, culminating in some pretty hefty situations, which I'm sure we'll touch upon in the Nancy Wake journey, because she was neck deep in it.
Yeah, the war, am I right?
I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but have you heard of a little fracas called World War II? I don't want to give too much away. I'm not here to confirm or deny, but if you've heard of World War II, that's going to help you with a little bit of background about what Nancy Wake gets up to. Am I right?
Nancy Wake.
Yes. But last episode, we heard her bluff her way into a sweet...
nicely done.
Sweet job. She was suffering. She was suffering in London.
Yeah, bit chilly.
She scrimped and scraped her way to a journalism degree.
Yeah,
where
that's
she
pretty
learned
good.
Typing and shorthand.
Yeah.
And then she got herself a sweet job interview where she completely lied.
Yeah.
Classic Nancy Wake.
Fully lie.
I don't reckon she'd want a job if she couldn't lie.
No, I don't reckon.
She'd be
too easy, mate.
She'd go to a job interview and go, I didn't tell one lie. And they go, you've got the job. She goes, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Because all I did was tell the truth.
Yeah.
Boo. You don't know me at all. So I think it worked out perfectly for Nancy Wake. Where she pretended she was a bit of an Egypt
know-it-all
expert. Yeah, that's right.
Like if she went on some quiz show and they went, what's your expert category?
Egypt.
And they'd be like, wow, you must know stuff about Egypt.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the show, they'd be like, you got no questions right about Egypt. She's like, well, that's weird. I was sure I was an expert on Egypt. Here, let me write in Egyptian. They're like, that's just backwards shorthand. That's not Egyptian. And they're like, hey, where'd she go? She's run out the door.
Oh, yeah.
And stolen their wallets on the way out. Classic Nancy.
Classic Nancy.
She was the real winner of that quiz show.
Oh, yeah.
Because those wallets were worth a pretty penny. Because they were full of pretty pennies.
Got them.
Yeah. Like not just normal pennies either.
They were like
Collectibles.
attractive.
Like, but like collected like rare pennies.
Oh, yeah. Rare pennies, surely.
Yeah. So let that be a lesson to you. If you're a penny collector, don't keep them in your wallet.
And don't go to quiz shows.
Two rules to live by. Lock them in, Yonky Doodlers. We're just trying to help.
Yeah.
Now we can put our podcast not just in history, not just in gently amusing, but also community service announcements.
Yeah.
Here to help the people.
Yeah.
We're basically the police.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're just trying to help people.
Yeah.
Like, don't leave your handbag on the front seat of your car when you go to the shops.
You definitely shouldn't do that.
Don't take your pretty pennies in your wallet to the quiz shows.
Don't do it.
Catchy catchphrases by Yonks Ago. All this can go on the merchandise.
Yeah.
Sweet
For
merch.
sure.
Sweet merch. Lessons learned on Yonks Ago.
Yeah.
But so she bluffed her way into the job and she landed the job
Yeah.
with her web of lies.
Oh, yeah. As you do, you know.
And they said, oh, look, one catch. You have to live in Paris. And she's
like,
sign me up, bro.
She's like, what? I have to live in Paris?
She's like,
how dare you?
I'm going to need a pay rise. And she's like, I'll do it, but I'll need more money.
Yeah.
She's like, if I have to live in Paris, that's the worst. So they're like, all right, we'll double your money.
Yeah.
We'll pay your rent, but you have to live in Paris. She's like, deal.
She's like, I'll do it then, whatever.
So she's gone over to Paris. She barely knew any
Paris.
French.
Bonjour.
Yeah, she knew some
Je
bonjours.
m'appelle Nancy.
She knew a little bit of civil plays, and she very quickly picked up a whole bunch of swear words, which she loved.
I forgot them.
And all
was it merde?
Oh, don't get started. Now we're going to have to mark this one as explicit in France as well.
Was that it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you've learnt your French. I mean,
I didn't have the accent just because I can't roll my R's very well.
Your pronunciation was probably terrible.
That's all right.
I'm no French teacher.
Yeah.
You probably said shot. Yeah. Which isn't a swear word.
Shit.
Well, that sounds like a swear word.
No, that's Irish.
Irish swearing.
Yeah, that's Irish swearing.
You're swearing all across Europe right now. Yeah. Oh, you're really getting our podcast a bad name in European shores. And European shores is where this podcast is firmly set now. So she's in Paris and she's not just swear word she's picking up as time goes by.
Oh, yeah, well, you would.
Because she's, as we said, she threw herself into the culture. She didn't hold back.
That's how you learn languages.
And she picked it up pretty quick because Nancy Wake's cluey.
Yeah.
She's got the brains upstairs.
Like, oh yeah, I know what that means.
That's what happens when you're Australian. You're like a sponge. Like if she was New Zealand, it would have taken her a little bit longer.
I reckon.
Because it's slightly further away from Europe.
Yeah, for sure.
Although, maybe it was because she had French heritage. Because
for sure,
originally,
true.
I mean, that could also be it. Because she's got French genes. So that language is hardwired. It's hardwired into her DNA.
Yeah.
That could be a part of it. Maybe that made it easier for her to pick it up.
Yeah.
I can't confirm or deny.
I can confirm. I was there.
1 out of 2 Yonky Doodlers. Yonkadoodlies. He's willing to.
We haven't tried for a while. I just thought I'd bring it back, you know?
Yeah, I know. And I'm...
Because you all would know that our Jinx Again story, we haven't quite...
No closure.
We haven't quite finished it yet.
We've got, if anything, we're getting further and further away.
And I remembered the other day, I was like, we haven't done a Jinx... We haven't even tried.
Yeah.
To do a Jinx Again.
Well, at least now you've at least given it a little tiny...
so now I'm going to bring it back.
Oh.
Just for the OGs, you know?
Just throwback.
Yeah.
All the long-time Yonky Doodlers are like, good times.
Yeah.
Watching
Remember episode 1 where we hardly spoke about Ned Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, this turned into this episode. Quick, Nancy Wake. Haha, Nancy Wake, am I right?
We could start talking about Ned Kelly again.
No.
Love that boy.
My man's.
So she's in Paris.
Pouty.
She's learning French. She's doing and she's working for the newspapers.
Yeah.
William Randolph Hearst newspapers, the European Bureau, and sending all the European news over to America for the American readers.
Yeah.
So she's their voice on the inside.
Ooh.
Okay, so let's get back to it. As to
Yes.
her journalistic work, there was plenty of it.
Yeah.
Most of it appearing in some or all of the 24 Hearst newspapers across America,
There you
including
go.
the San Francisco Examiner
Oh, yeah?
and the Houston Chronicle. I mean, great.
I read those all the time, mate.
They are excellent newspapers.
Yeah.
They're the only two surviving.
You know what? I've never seen a typo. Never. Yeah.
They take pride in their work.
Yeah.
A lot of people they cut when they cut their budgets in newspapers.
Yeah.
They get rid of like the proofreaders,
Yeah.
the editors.
Yeah.
But these two, the San Francisco Examiner and the Houston Chronicle, if anything, they hire more editors,
Yeah.
more proofreaders.
You know, you might proofread twice. They proofread 200
yeah,
times.
that's right. Because it's that 200th time where you catch it.
Yeah.
That's meant to be apostrophe S,
Yeah.
not S apostrophe.
Yeah.
Because it's a tricky rule.
Yeah.
But
No, it isn't. I get it.
Oh, apostrophe queen.
Yeah. It's just if it already has an S on the end.
Have you ever thought of becoming a proofreader for one of the William Randolph Hearst?
You know, I
fine
definitely have, but
Yeah.
I think I'll follow the calling of the sound engineer,
Audio engineer?
audio engineer.
You can do both.
I don't think I can. You know,
I guess.
I think because like these proofreaders, they're putting all their time and effort into proofreading.
Okay, but if you do get an interview for
Yeah.
one of these William Randolph Hearst papers and
I'll
they
just
ask
lie.
you if you know anything about Egypt, you know what to say.
Yeah, 100% I do, but I don't know shorthand.
Uh-oh.
That's
Is there any, I don't know, what do you know? I guess they'd probably be wise to that now as well. They'd be
Yeah.
like, don't just try writing shorthand.
don't
try to
Nancy wake it.
it.
Jinx. Oh, not really a jinx, and you didn't even try.
Oh, God, I haven't got that part of my brain turned on.
Well, I see.
All right, so she's
Turn it back
working.
on. Do it now.
She's working away,
Yeah.
doing her journalisms, having a good time.
Yeah.
And at that stage, as I said, Europe, 1930s, politics was a huge part of what she had to do.
Yeah.
Huge,
It would
like-
be.
The main bulk of her work was politics.
Yeah.
And European politics in general, because that's where she was.
Yeah.
And the Americans were far away. They're like, I wonder what's happening in Europe.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Sounds spicy.
Yeah, sign me up.
Better get Nancy on the line. Get her to write some stuff for us. And she said politics was never of enormous interest to her when she lived in Australia. Growing
Yeah.
up, she couldn't give two.
Nothing's happening
she
in Australia.
Couldn't give two chocos.
No. Chocos. Don't care what y'all say.
But as I'm saying, she soon realised that it was the bread and butter of a lot of the journalistic work
Yeah.
that she was required to do.
She's like, oh, this stuff's spicy
so
as.
I better get into it.
Yeah.
And so she started attending all the protest rallies and she
Yeah.
would report on them. She did interviews with key political figures.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Reported on nationwide strike action and recorded all of this for the American readers so that they would know the major machinations of French politics. So
Yeah, what's
she's-
machinations mean?
like the workings, the dealings,
Oh, yeah.
the goings on. You know
All
what I
the
mean?
dealing and the stealing and the wheeling and the
Yeah.
feeling and the
Save
sheeling.
it. I can just start start rewording the
Yeah.
Ned Kelly wrap up for some of the rhymes that I can use in this
Same
one.
melody
Yeah.
all the way through, just different.
Spoilers, I did start working on the Nancy
Shut
Wake
up.
I'll wrap up this morning.
Wow.
I've got
there you go.
I've got because I realised I can't wait till the end because
Yeah.
I need to have it basically, you know,
Week after the last episode.
That's
and
right,
we
it
don't know
needs to
when
be
that's
ready to
we
go.
don't know when that's happening.
and I'm like, you know, well, it is a
And
summary.
you're also leaving soon, so like we
I
don't
know.
you know?
Yes, I'm
might
not
not have-
saying that's why I started working on it today, but I don't have much
bit of
time.
sizzle, yeah.
I don't have much time to get this done before I Chucky wake it. All right, the clock is ticking. But who knows when?
Yeah. I mean,
I do.
I surely don't.
I booked my tickets.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling.
Tickets where?
No, well, hey. It could be one of the places I mentioned in this book. Maybe I'm going first class on a fancy ocean liner somewhere. Maybe I'm not. I can't take it because I don't want to spoil the surprise / tragedy.
Are you going to Canada?
Have you been looking at my emails? How very dare you? No, just jokes. I'm not going anywhere. Anyway.
Sure, Dad, sure.
This podcast will be submitted for evidence when when I disappear without a trace.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, he said he was leaving.
Yeah.
We didn't kill him. Although maybe I'm giving you the perfect, like if you guys maybe do want to just like do a sneaky like data side. and just like hide the body somewhere, and everyone's like knock on the door, ask the police. Where's we haven't heard or seen of Rick Brown for some time.
Yeah.
Where is he? Did you kill him?
Dove.
And you're like, no, he's Chucky waked it.
Yeah, he just left us.
Maybe this whole podcast was you sucking me in to giving you an alibi so
Cannot
that you could
confirm or deny.
you could commit some serious dadicide. Oh, I've been sucked in. I've been played for a fool.
I've actually had 3 dads before you. You're just number 4 on my list.
Each one with a incomplete podcast.
Yeah.
where they confess to their plans. To
Don't tell. Yeah.
No, your secret's safe
just
with
delete
me.
that bit. Yeah.
It's a good plan.
Yeah.
It's a good plan and I like it. And maybe this whole time you are like an accomplished audio engineer and you can edit all the episode, like you go back in and edit the episode.
I'm not going to say I am, but...
Everything's falling into place. Anyway, so she's doing a lot of her journalism work, but the journalism itself, in terms of the actual writing of the stories, she never developed a great passion for it.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't her passion.
Yeah, this was not her passion. Like she did it for the muns and for the lifestyle.
Like my passion is rolling your yarn balls. That's my passion.
It's one of the more unusual passions.
Yeah, your passion
is... I don't know.
I mean, you could say acting, but I'd say it's watching footy. Maybe even cooking.
Cooking?
You like to cucina, right?
I do. I mean, I do like being in the kitchen, whipping up a dish.
Yeah. Just trying out some new ones. Jamie Oliver, 15 minutes.
Yeah. It is one of my happier places.
Yeah.
Cooking in the kitchen.
I reckon.
I'll give it to you.
But I mean, you don't have a food dream.
No.
I don't think.
No.
It's
Well,
a food passion.
I never want to monetize it. I never want to be like a chef, or
Yeah.
I never want to turn it into a business. So
No.
it's definitely like, keep it in the kitchen, like the hobbyist kitchen. I don't I just want it to be part of my life, not something that I'm trying to make money from, or make a business out of, because I think that'll ruin it.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy it. It is my food dream. Like, this is as far as my food dream goes.
This is your I get
cooking
it.
in the kitchen.
I get it.
Like dream accomplished.
Because I reckon passions have to be big. You can have a small passion.
Yeah, like yours is turning
Bro.
messy balls of wool into neat round balls of wool.
It's like Mindfulness May, but in September.
Yeah. It's all year round mindfulness.
Yeah.
In
You can
wool
just
form.
chill out, listen to this podcast, and wind some yarn.
So if
And
any
I'm all for
Yonky
it.
Doodlers out there are looking for a nice little mindfulness activity, I tell you, Millie has really. It's been a long time as well that you've been applying yourself.
If you're looking at all your wool and it's like tangled up,
Yeah.
just dive right in.
Even the balls of wool that you normally buy in shops that are kind of oblongs or like that weird.
I don't like the hot doggy shape.
Yeah, hot doggy shaped wool.
You're like, nah.
Because I've seen you turn a lot of these things into very satisfying round
You know
balls
how
of wool.
cats like the yarn balls?
Yes.
Like those balls.
Yeah. And you might think it's full. You might think, you guys are crazy. Don't knock it till you've tried it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I haven't even tried it, but I've seen Millie do it. And the end product is one of the most visually satisfying things I've ever seen.
So finesse. You know what? I reckon I'll chuck a picture of my biggest yarn ball on the Insta.
You should. Yeah, on the Yonks Ago.
On the story, not as a post.
Story.
Don't want to ruin our nice.
Yeah, we've got an aesthetic.
Yeah.
A black and white aesthetic.
I mean that one where it's like keep calm and love history on Ned Kelly. That one's not black and white. You could have changed it.
It upsets me, but it's also not a historical picture.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is the one.
Whatever.
It was like it was the one thing that wasn't advertising an episode.
Yeah.
It was the one that was sort of spruiking just the whole concept.
Yeah.
So it got a different color palette, but I accept that it throws the whole aesthetic of our Instagram feed out of whack, and I do mildly regret putting it there.
It's okay, take risks and learn from them.
It's hard. It's hard in this modern age to get your aesthetics right.
Like Nancy Wake takes risks, and doesn't learn from them and keeps taking the risks.
And so, look, before we get too caught up and we run completely out of time.
Yeah, we have rambled, haven't we?
One of her journalism projects, she got to travel a little bit.
Oh,
she
yeah?
got sent to Marseille, which is
Where's that?
It's a French town on the sort of the Riviera on the Mediterranean.
Yep.
Sort of a seaside town.
Yep.
And I mean, Nancy loved it when she got there. She's like, this town is lit. And she went there because She went to work early afternoon of 9th of October, 1934. Nancy was there, notebook in hand, among the milling crowds as King Alexander I of Yugoslavia slowly made his way, in his horse-drawn gilded carriage, up from the port where he'd landed and through the cheering crowds, grandly waving his hand in classic monarchical fashion. So she's there to cover the arrival of King Alexander I.
The first Alexander.
Shout out to any Yonky doodlers out there called Alexander, if there are any. I'm sure there are.
You know who you are.
Look, King Alexander I has arrived in Marseille.
Yeah, let's see if you can become the King Alexander II.
Yes. So Nancy's there by the in the crowds.
Yeah.
Notebook, recording it all. It was like the big deal royal visit.
Yeah.
And
it's King Alexander I, my bro.
He'd come to France to seek French support against the machinations of Benito Mussolini.
Whoa.
Do you know Mussolini?
It rings a bell.
He was
I'll tell you that.
a leader of which country?
I don't know.
My guess, and the reason I think you should know it, is that I think it's Italy. I think he was
the name rings a bell.
I guess you're only learning the language, not necessarily the history of Italy. So he'd come there. The King Alexander I of Yugoslavia had come there for political reasons, but also, it's always great to meet the people.
Oh, yeah.
And store up a little bit of fun and excitement along the streets.
Yeah.
Because this is before Netflix. This is sort of back when any excuse to get out in the streets and celebrate.
Well, I don't reckon for me because I'm still the Maggies are there.
Yeah, I guess, but you're safer in a big crowd. Surely, you'd be like,
I'd be good in a crowd.
Guaranteed that there was going to be thousands of people. You'd be
not in Australia though. No one, Australia. No one lives in Australia. It's just a big block of land.
Oh, no, I'll tell you, mate. if any royal came out not in the 30s, especially.
I guess so.
Man, if you threw a bloody royal, any royal came out here, the streets would be suddenly packed.
I mean, I reckon I'd still stay inside though.
People went gaga. And so they're all out there. He's there trying to, say, hey, things are getting pretty messy in Europe.
Yeah.
How about France, gets stuck in and helps everyone?
Yeah.
Because Italy's getting a little feisty. We all know what Germany's up to.
Yeah.
So he's there. Everyone's out on the streets celebrating. And then amid all the revelry and sense of wonder came the clear sound of 2 gunshots.
Oh, my God. That's like in that one Glee episode.
Ils sont fusillés la rue. Was the horrified shout rang out.
From the king?
They've shot the king. They bloody well shot the king.
They shot the king.
And they had indeed, at least someone
had.
There was screams, shouts, stampede.
Nancy's like, hell yeah, this is a great story.
Everyone's made a run for it. Nancy's got no choice but to go, get swept up in the tide of everyone yeeting. There was a mass yeet.
Yeah. It's safety numbers.
Yeah. And so she's just like, and so then she's headed to a cafe, you got stuck in, sit down to check everything out, take a deep breath, and there was no question that she had a big story.
Yeah.
Because it's a curiosity of the journalistic trade that even in the middle of the most extraordinary events, however upsetting they might be, in their mind, the back of their mind, they're like,
it's a good story. Yeah, this is gold.
Sure, like someone's been shot. People are going crazy, but I'm right here in the middle of it.
Yeah.
How lucky am I? So journalists are a little bit weird that they get a bit, I think that plays on their mind a little bit as well after a while. They're like,
am I a bad person?
Yeah. Why? Other people are like, this is terrible. But in my mind, I'm sort of like, yes.
Yeah, I see.
And so she was dealing with that, but she's also like, man, I gotta get this story in.
Yeah.
And she brings through the story through to Paris on the first available telephone line, and then she resumes her position at the bar to see what's going to happen next, right? So it's all action stations.
Yeah, she's like,
the streets are madness.
Yeah.
Stories, rumours and conjectures flying around, and then the policemen, all the police start moving through, and they're like, where's your papers? Because obviously there's a murder to solve, and they're like, who are all these people? And they say, Nancy has to produce her papers and explain why she's there because she's obviously a foreigner, and they're like, hey, did you kill the king?
Yeah.
She's like, nah, brah.
I'm just a journalist from
although
Australia.
she must have been tempted to go, yeah, I did, because that would have been a sweet lie.
That would have been a sweet lie and a good story as well.
I wonder what would happen if I confessed to the murder.
Yeah.
Nancy Wake king killer. What then? But she's like, nah. I'll tell the truth on this one. I'll tell the truth.
I think I'm going to go with the truth on this one, eh?
Yeah. And anyway, so that all checks out. They're all like, fine. We got a murderer to catch. And so she's like, what's going to happen next? And then the policeman's on his way. And then Nancy's asking around, what's going on? What's going on? And she finds out that the king was in fact dead, shot through the lung, as was the French foreign minister who had been with him. Yeah. So two dead people, double murder.
Yeah.
Double assassination.
Just don't be a king and you're right.
Oh, it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's less tough these days. I think in Europe in those days, you're basically like, when am I going to get shot?
Yeah.
An assassin unknown, though believed to be one of Pavelly's men. I don't know who Pavely is. I should do my research. Probably some sort of political intrigue. Had approached the carriage and after shouting out loudly, "Long live the king," had shot them dead before turning his before turning his gun on the foreign minister, who was very supportive of the king. So took both of them out. The assassin had in turn been instantly shot by the French police.
Oh yeah,
and that was where things stood at the moment. So I guess they weren't trying to solve the murder because they'd already shot the guy who done it. They were like, because I imagine there was a lot of police around the king when he got shot. It's not like he was just out there by himself.
No.
And then the assassins come up and go, "Long live the king!" And everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's all right.
Long live the king."
But then, bang, bang. They're like, "Oh, this guy's not nice at all."
Yeah, no, he just shot the king.
No, I've got to shoot him, bro.
Yeah. Oh no.
So they did. So there's 3 dead.
Yeah.
3 dead, but at the same time, Nancy's like, sweet story, bro. Nancy's just sending it all through the newspapers, and everyone's like, "Gee, we're glad we hired Nancy Wake."
Yeah.
Nancy Wake gets the job done.
She knows so much about Egypt too.
Yes. Now this whole situation though strengthened the growing grasp of fascism on Europe. So that's your Mussolinis, your Hitlers, and all of that. So this sort of assassination and all the goings on around that were sort of really propelled or fast forwarded the events of Europe.
Gave them a bit of a nudge.
And it was like point of no return, basically. Yeah. From here on in, it's like, I mean, have you heard of World War II?
I definitely have.
No spoilers, again.
No spoilers.
But it's coming.
Yeah.
And this poor Alex. Look, and shout out to any Yonky doodlers out there whose name might be Alexander, who might have taken a shine to King Alexander I of Yugoslavia, only to find him shot dead.
Yeah,
mere minutes later.
Yeah,
I mean, we can only apologise here at the Yonks Ago podcast for getting your hopes up.
Every opportunity though to become the second Alexander King.
Yeah, I mean, it does leave the door open for anyone whose name is Alexander.
Yeah, who
might want to become the King of Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
I mean,
your
there's an empty throne.
Yeah.
They don't have to change any of the nameplates.
No. I mean just add a
little extra Roman numeral I to the end, and King Alexander II is ready to rule.
Yeah.
And we here at Yonks Ago fully support the rise and rule of King Alexander II of Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
You heard it here. It's a groundswell movement.
Yep.
And if I learned anything from Europe in the 30s, it's that people can get things done one way or the other. So, look, we are out of time, unfortunately. That is where we will have to leave our sweet, sweet tales for today. But we are, as you can see, we are rocketing into political turmoil.
Don't know if you know this, but World War II is coming.
It's coming. I mean, we don't know when, if, how, if it's got anything to do with Nancy Wake. Who knows?
I don't know.
But she is right in the thick of it.
I mean, it does happen in the same time when Nancy Wake is currently in Europe.
You put 2 and 2 together. All right, but all we can say is Nancy Wake is swimming in a nice, thick World War II broth right now.
Yeah.
That is almost ready to serve.
Yeah.
And will she be an ingredient in that broth?
Who knows?
100% she will be. Maybe.
Who knows? We know.
We all know.
Yeah.
We all know. But do we? Yes.
Cannot confirm nor deny.
So let's find out what happens to Nancy Wake and her European political exploits in a next episode of
Yonks Ago! Yeah, the boys and the girls and everyone.